Right now, you're about to meet the 10 most brutal kings in British history. These aren't just bad rulers. These are men who boiled enemies alive, starved children to death, and invented horrific tortures. Some were psychopaths, some were paranoid tyrants. All of them left rivers of blood behind. If you think you know how dark British history gets, you have no idea. Let's count them down, from terrible to pure nightmare fuel. Number 10. King John 1199 to 1216. You know him as the villain in every Robin Hood movie. And honestly, the legends don't even do him justice. John was so awful that his own nobles held a sword to his throat and forced him to sign the Magna Carta in 1215. Before that, he starved 22 noble hostages to death at Windsor Castle, including an 11-year-old boy. He ordered his own nephew Arthur's eyes gouged out. Then the boy mysteriously vanished. In 1212, when Welsh rebels rose up, John hanged 28 Welsh boy hostages from the walls of Nottingham Castle. He died in 1216, supposedly from eating too many peaches and drinking too much ale, while the country was at war with him. Even death couldn't make people like him. Number 9. William Rufus. William II. 1807 a 1100. The red-haired son of William the Conqueror was openly sadistic. He taxed his people into poverty, extorted the church until the Archbishop of Canterbury fled, and hunted his own peasants for sport. Chroniclers described him riding through villages with his nobles, chasing commoners like deer. He was also openly bisexual in an age when that got you called a heretic. When he was shot with an arrow and killed while hunting in 1100, nobody bothered to investigate. His body was tossed on a charcoal burner's cart and dragged to Winchester Cathedral. Almost no one mourned. Number 8. Edward I. Longshanks 1272 to 1307. Yes, that's the villain from Braveheart. Mel Gibson didn't exaggerate much. Edward literally invented hanged, drawn, and quartered a torture so savage they needed new vocabulary for it. The victim was hanged until almost dead, cut down alive, castrated, and forced to watch his own genitals burn, disemboweled, heart ripped out, then beheaded and chopped into 4 pieces. He used it on Welsh Prince David ap Gruffudd in 1283, then on William Wallace in 1305. Edward also expelled every Jew from England in 1290, seized their property. And when Scottish rebels took Berwick in 1296, he ordered the massacre of every man, woman, and child. Up to 15,000 people in 3 days. Historians still call it one of the worst atrocities in medieval British history. Number 7. Henry VIII, 1509 to 1547. 6 wives. That's the fairy tale. The real Henry executed over 70,000 people during his 38-year reign. He dissolved the monasteries, destroyed over 800 religious houses, and left thousands of monks and nuns homeless and starving. He created a treason law so broad that even thinking bad thoughts about the king could get you killed. He beheaded 2 wives, botched the execution of 67-year-old Margaret Pole, and executed his own chief minister Thomas Cromwell. By the time he died, obese, rooting from leg ulcers, he was screaming about monks in his delirium. Guilt, maybe? Number 6. Richard III, 1483 to 1485. The last Plantagenet king. Shakespeare called him a monster, and the evidence is ugly. After his brother's sons, the princes in the tower mysteriously disappeared. Richard declared them illegitimate and took the throne. Bones matching 2 boys were later found under a staircase in the tower. He executed his brother, the Duke of Clarence, by drowning him in a barrel of wine. He only ruled 2 years before dying at Bosworth Field, the last English king to die in battle. His body was dumped in an unmarked grave and rediscovered in 2012 under a Leicester car park. Number 5. Henry II, 1154 to 1189. The man who created modern English law and modern English assassination when he clashed with his old friend Thomas Becket, Archbishop of Canterbury. Henry famously shouted, "Will no one rid me of this turbulent priest?" 4 knights took the hint. They hacked Becket to death on the altar steps while he prayed, splitting his skull. The murder shocked Europe. Henry had to walk barefoot to Canterbury and get whipped by monks as penance. He spent his whole reign crushing rebellions, even those started by his own sons. Number 4. King Stephen 1135 to 1154. His reign was literally called the Anarchy. Stephen stole the throne from his cousin Matilda. The resulting 19-year civil war turned England into a hellscape. Barons built illegal castles that became torture chambers. People were hung by their thumbs until they died, had smoke blown into their mouths, or were crushed slowly in boxers. Chroniclers wrote that God and his angels slept while England burned. Famine killed hundreds of thousands. Villages were wiped out, all because one weak king couldn't control his own nobles. Number 3. George IV, 1822-1830, the Regent Sierra Party king. Obese, addicted to laudanum, and alcohol, and spectacularly hate. He spent money like a reality TV villain until Parliament had to bail him out repeatedly. He tried to divorce his wife Caroline with a public trial, accusing her of adultery. At his coronation, he locked the doors of Westminster Abbey so she couldn't get in. She died 3 weeks later, probably poisoned. He supported the Peterloo massacre in 1819, where cavalry charged peaceful, killing 18 and injuring hundreds. When The Times wrote one of the coldest obituaries in history, no one had ever been less missed. Number 2. Henry VII, 1485 to 1509, founder of the Tudor dynasty and grandfather of Elizabeth I, but also a paranoid, money-obsessed dictator. After killing Richard III at Bosworth, he spent 24 years bleeding England dry through legal extortion. His enforcers, Empson and Dudley, invented fake charges against rich families and demanded huge fines. He executed the 24-year-old Earl of Warwick simply because he was a potential rival who had done nothing wrong. He built the Yeoman of the Guard, the first royal bodyguard, because he was terrified of assassination. When he died, he left behind the largest fortune in English royal history, and a nobility so broken they let his son Henry VIII do whatever he wanted. Number 1. William the Conqueror, 1066-1087, the undisputed champion of brutality. After winning at Hastings, he faced rebellion in the north. His response? The harrying of the north. In the winter of 1069 to 1070, his army burned every village, slaughtered every person and animal, destroyed every food store, and salted the earth. Up to 150,000 people died of starvation. 20 years later, the Doomsday Book still described huge areas of Yorkshire as waste, completely empty. A Norman monk who usually supported William wrote that men, women, and children died in ditches, their bodies eaten by wolves. Even on his deathbed, William begged God for forgiveness for the harrying. When they tried to bury his swollen body, it burst open. And that's your top 10, the most brutal kings Britain ever suffered. From starving children and massacring civilians to inventing tortures so evil we still remember their names. Centuries later, these men didn't just rule England, they terrorized it. If you thought royal history was all crowns and castles, welcome to the real story. Drop a like if you want more dark history. Subscribe for the next one, and tell me in the comments, which of these monsters shocked you the most? Because trust me, it only gets darker from here.